It will take actually 2-3 seconds to 2-3 seconds to go there.
This question from Lakshman.
Yes. Okay, welcome to Untitled Learning Analytics Tools first live interaction. Myself, Ramkumar, Rajendran, the course instructor. I have Devesh Singh, TA for this course. So, hi. Before we go into the questions from the chat, if you have any questions, you can type in the chat. We will take it one by one. I will go to the questions submitted in the Google form. So there's a question about which data set can be used for multi-class classification problem. So the multi-class classification problem is basically the label, the dependent values more than one and more than two, right? Pass, fail, or instead of you want to classify into different bins like a 30 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. In that particular scenario, if you have any simple data set with the pass marks, you can convert into a multi-class classification problem. Because instead of predicting a binary classifier where the pass or fail, you can convert it. So if you are already having data set with a binary classification problem, you can convert that into multi-class classification very simply. Other than that, you can look at the data sets from different sources like a PSLC data shop or Kaggle or any other websites. If you remember, any other websites, they can get the data. So yeah, so it's not really tough to convert a multi-class classification problem from the binary class classification problem. But the purpose is why we need it. It has to be, thought well. The one example we will go through in the 10th week, I think the end of the course, we'll be doing the affective computing. Like we try to predict the learner's affective states, learner-centric emotions such as frustration, boredom, confuse, delight. This is a multi-class problem because we'll be giving the input as a facial expressions, the facial expression, different action units. We like to predict this thing. So there it's a multi-class problem. But in fact, the multi-class classification problem can be solved in two different ways. One is one versus one. One other one is one versus all approach. So there are few algorithms which provides output in terms of probability or some real value, where we can apply threshold to say that from 0 to 0.3 is class 1, 0.3 and 0.6 is class 2, something like that. But mostly people use this multi-class classification problem to a binary class, converted to binary class problems, that is 1 versus 1 or 1 versus all. What is these two methods? I'll just go through quickly. Suppose I want to classify given data. So I'm giving the features like features of the three different fruits, apple, orange and cherry, okay? And I want to predict the given features of the fruit is apple or orange or cherry. That one method is apple, keep number of apples data, combine orange and cherry. This is 1 versus all. You can predict apple versus other. Similarly, orange versus other or cherry versus other. You can compute the classification. You can develop a best classifier in each model. You can use those models. The other one is 1 versus 1. Apple versus orange separately. Orange versus cherry. Apple versus cherry. So you can create three different classifiers. So there's a drawback for both. If it is 4 classes, the number of classifiers in the 1 versus 1 is more compared to 1 versus all. That's a different approach. So yeah, to answer that question quickly, it's not tough to create a multi-class classification problem from the data you already have. Even in multi-class problem, you will be dealing with the binary classification only. So you need to know which classifier you want to understand. Then you have to decide about your problem. Whether you want to go for binary class or multi-class. The second question I get it from is that for diagnostic analytics, other than process mining and clustering techniques or processing mining or sequential pattern mining, is there any other method? So the purpose of diagnostic analytics is to understand why something has happened. So one method, basic method we all do is we plot a scatter plot and we compute a correlation. That's the basics we started. So that will be the good one for the diagnostic analytics, basic correlation. I can't think of anything else. So that's one thing, The process mining and all, we were trying to understand the students why happened from the interaction data. The sequential pattern mining will help in only in the closed session, like 1 hour session. I want to observe all those interactions, then possible. So do you have any other methods for diagnostic analytics? So I don't think other than correlation and looking at the data more. So what we do, we plot the data in a different graph and we look at it. That's what we do. See, we plot in a temporal nature, like if the data changes over time, we'll see how it is going, those kind of information. Beyond that, we don't get much details about diagnostic analytics. So yeah, that's the answer is like mostly we use correlation and SPM or clustering or process mining. Okay, others are, it's not a question, it's okay, they put yes, fine. So the other question is kind of more towards, I think the person is there also in the chat. So the other question is kind of more question about interviews in ML. So will I able to improve my ML skills after watching this course? So the point is, this course will motivate you to learn ML. Okay, we will actually start with very basics like supervised, unsupervised. Then we will talk about k-means, clustering. We'll talk about different algorithms like addition tree or hierarchical clustering. We talk about different Bayes algorithm. We talk about the basics in a very first level of analysis. You can, after watching this course, definitely you can understand why, what is k-means does, how does the k-means algorithm works, how does the Bayes algorithm works. You can understand that. But in each algorithm, for example, even in a linear regression algorithm, in order to minimize the root mean square error, there will be a set of algorithms applied in the backend. For example, if I see that root mean square is more, I want to plot another line, okay, and find out to reduce the distance between this line and the input points. To do that, there are a lot of other algorithms, maths behind it, that we will not talk about in this course. In order to understand ML, and you want to attend the interview and you want to know those things, that is important. The interview will ask, the interview will ask me, how do you improve it? What are the classification methods you do it? But if you want to use ML in your data, or if you want to apply level ML applied research or ML applied work, you don't need to know much things. So you need to understand what are these algorithms, which data is suitable for a kind of algorithm, and what are the tools. My only suggestion is that we talk about a couple of tools, Orange and Wake Up. There are just 2 tools. This is just to motivate you that these tools are easy to use and download music. There are many other tools like Rapid Miner, Tableau, BigML. There are other 10 good tools which are available free for us to use it. Go and explore them. That you will learn more about, and you get confident of using these tools. And with any data, you can try to use those tools. So that's the whole purpose. Understanding math will work for core ML research. It's needed. So I think if you want to understand math, don't need to understand math and all the algorithms. At least 2 or 3 algorithms you should know basics. That need to help. Is it necessary to know the complete math beginning? So not needed. Not all algorithms. Maybe choose 2 3 algorithms. You tell that I studied 2 3 algorithms. Say logistic regression. So I studied on regression and logistic regression, and I studied a couple of other probability algorithms, why it happened, everything. And that's enough. In the HMO, we don't need to do much of maths. Actually, mostly we cover whatever we cover in a base. That's enough. Actually, we don't want to much more mathematics now. HMO is one of the easiest for algorithms.
In fact, in case of programming languages like Python and all, you don't have to do all the mathematics. They are functions, there are libraries, you can go directly use them. So it's good to know mathematics, but again, I think if you want to apply things, you don't need to know a lot of mathematics. Basic level mathematics is sufficient, I guess.
Yes. But if for interview you want to prepare 1, 2 or 3 algorithms for mathematics behind it. Mathematics is basically what are the hyperparameters used to improve the performance, and how to change the cycle parameters.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the two things you have to learn. That's all you have to understand, and that's extra you have to learn from the what we teach in the course. Will these sessions be conducted again? Yes, we'll be conducting this session once in every 4 weeks. If there are more number of people join and more questions that comes up, we might be conducting once in 3 weeks. But I think once in 4 weeks is enough because it becomes a demand. Okay. Can we do ML and web development parallelly? See, this is totally up to you. For example, ML, this course is trying to motivate you to basics of ML who want to start ML but don't know where to start. Maybe start with the basics and basics of coding in Python scripts if you learn. Then take it forward and read more and learn more. Web development is totally the different domain. For example, just I was talking, to my friends. Recently there are more websites for use of startups. More websites are created, and most of them are looking for Angular JavaScript. Nothing beyond that. If you have a basic knowledge in Angular JavaScript and software scripting some boxes or menus in it, there will be a lot of jobs available nowadays in Angular JS because most of the sites are using that in the front end. So if you are looking for web development, that is the one. But ML part, we never most of the websites now they're not really looking for ML part actually. If the startup is looking for ML, there will be the back end to create a logic. So and they will have other people to work on the front end and web development. You don't need to worry about much details there. If you create a algorithm to collect data from the database and provide some input, that's enough for them. So I don't think we need to know more. But if you want to look for the web development jobs, go for that hot topic. I feel it is JavaScript. My friend was saying, but there are many other hot topics nowadays. Cloud, IoT. If you learn anything, Spark. If you don't want to do that, you want to work on some ML core problem and data science, I would suggest no need to learn that. Okay.
Few questions from the chat.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I have from this. I'll go for the questions in the chat. So, yeah, Lakshman says, yes, I was going through that only. So this section will be available after this live interaction. Yes, we will make it available. Okay, so thank you, Gomadi was asking this question. So how to get connected with Indian community for LA for project development? This is a very interesting question. So what happens is I locally go and give talks to engineering colleges nearby, and I see a lot of people are interested. At least 2 or 3 of them from the group, they would like to work on this. And from this NPTEL course also, I see a lot of people interested in data. Or they can collect data in the classroom, but they are not sure how to take it forward. Like, can I develop the learner model and publish some paper, or can I use this data to write something and do some research, or give research to my students? So, but this help, this help of there are other people who know, who understand basics, but they don't have the access to collecting data. So there's a platform to combine this. So we were thinking of starting a special interest group, in learning analytics in India. So I think we are in the process of creating the SIG in Indian learning analytics. I think in a month or 2, once we do it, we will announce it via the NPTEL course, not just this batch, last batch students will send an email. And also we'll send it to other channels, we will get it, our LinkedIn channel, we will announce it. There's a learning analytics group, Solar Research in the United States, that have a special interest group across the world. One Asian SIG is in Kyoto University by Professor Hiroki Hogata. He is having that SIG. We want to be part of it, but in Indian Indian universities, there's not many people are working in LA, especially even in IIT Bombay. There are only a couple of people are working on this. LA, there's not much demand for taking the SIG for India. So first we'll develop the network who are interested in learning analytics, who are really interested to collect data in the classroom or other environment, and who want to use the data to improve the student learning. That's the purpose of LA, right? ultimately, we want to improve the students' learning process. If we'll collect those data, then we'll form the platform, then we can talk about it. Maybe we are planning actually monthly meeting, with a couple of our, we meet and we identify few people, we can branch out, we can meet and discuss. Just a introduction meeting, then what data you are, what help needed, making connections within the platform. We are trying to do that under a society called the EdTech Society. We recently registered a society called EdTech Society from IIT Bombay, from Education Technology Department. Our HOD is the president of the society. We just started it. We are in the process of setting up the accounts and everything. Under the EdTech Society, we want to start a SIG, special interest group in learning analytics. So we will let all the participants in the NPTEL course know that. I think this is one we want to really do that. Okay. So I just want to go another question. So okay, let's move it.
How to find out?
Yeah, just go inside. Okay, how to find out slow learners, which tech use? I couldn't understand it. So the second thing. So I can ask the second question. Can we get the GATE exam research for the research purpose? No. Because we don't get the consents from all the students, and we don't really get the permission to use this data. So not just that, not even for the JW exams we conducted last year in IIT Bombay, we don't get that. Actually, even for us, for research, we don't get it. I know this is very interesting. It's like we have different domains, we have concepts mapped to the particular questions. We know how much time they spent on each question and who does that. No. But if you want a similar data, there was a competition last year in Kaggle with it shared similar information like the content. There's a competition exam, and the students' performance in each question and the time they spent on it has been given. And what is
2019
that one is Professor Effernan have the data on automatic assessment. The system is called assessment. Assistance and assessment, right?
Assessment.
Okay, the system is called assessment or assistance, and this assistance called assessment by Professor Effernan. They are published data set of AEHS where students were doing this kind of competitive exams in a US under two kind of test. Okay, there's a 30 questions in each exam, each section, and they are given the answer and how much time they spent on each question to answer it. So the answer is right along also given, and they were trying to identify what is the ideal time someone should spend on each question, and to predict who will do right or wrong, something like that. So this data set is available in AAED 2019 conference. If you go to AAED 2019 call for a conference, you will get this data set. It's available there. It's a competition ran in that conference 2020 conference, because it is 2019 you get. So 2020 conference, it is available. So if you go to AAED 2020 conference website, you get this data. The other one is education data set available in the Kaggle data set, which came in last year. Last year, the competition just ended in December or January it ended. And go to Kaggle, look for the education data set. It is by one company, from Chinese company. They issued all this data, competition data set. So if I know why you are asking for GET data set, but if you're looking for the similar data sets, it's available in Kaggle, one in AAD 2020 conference website. How to find out? I don't understand. Okay, so slow learner, which tech to use?
I think there can be two interpretations for this.
Yeah.
How can we use technology to find out the slow learners, or how do we find slow learners who are slow at using technology? I think the first one is.
The first one is easy to answer, because how to identify the slow learners. So I was know if you are using any technogenous learning environment, and if you are capturing their time spent on each resources, then you can able to tell, if the slow learner or not, if someone is really having trouble in learning and understanding those information. And if they spend enough time, still they're not able to answer the related questions, the questions related to the concept, you can tell whether they're learning, they're trying, but they're not answering. You should be trying to give some feedback to help them to improve that. That's the one way to do that. So it's based on the data. Okay, there's no other. This data should be needed at the interaction level. So if you are creating any system, using WordPress, something like that, use the XAPI that will give you the almost all the interaction data, and you can get in JSON format, like which we showed in the class week 2, where we got a data from the MOOCs, and we were able to track which page they're reading, and what are this navigation path, everything. Based on that, you can tell some information about are they learning slow or not, and you can define the threshold. Like if someone opened the page for 5 minutes, they're not coming back, it might be they're not even in the system, they might have gone somewhere out. So you can keep the higher in threshold to remove those outliers, and you can understand whether someone is learning slow or high. So it's usually find the mean time, then whoever is above the one standardization above the mean time can be considered slow learner. It's a very simple approach to start with. Then you can include that metric. Okay. Map all learning activities that are in demand nowadays, and it's a transition career analytics. What roadmap will be the best for the knowledge? Okay, actually a very good question. So I don't know. Basically, I really don't know, because see, I was in a search lab for some other purpose. Then I was moved to the lab, so that's what happened. We spent 2 years in research in data science. Then I moved back to academia. That's it. So I don't know what exactly the transition phase happens in the current industry. The one thing is, go to Google. We will talking about this in a 11th week or 12th week. If you go to 12th week video directly, you can see what we explained in the thing. Go to the AI tools for production. Okay, ML production is a key part. Nobody is really talking about ML production. In the industry, ML is not just applying data and getting output. Data preparing, feature extraction, whether can you extract the features automatically or manually, and data preparing, data processing, then the ML part comes in. Then how to use this part to the production, So there'll be if you go to the latest ML production tools, there'll be a lot of figures. Go to images, search this word, immediately go to images, go to images. You will find a lot of, you will find lot of images, then you can select it. So one of the interesting tools for ML, right? We talk about Orange or RapidMiner, Tableau. Check Big ML. Okay, that's one. It's interesting to check it. But this is a framework. There's a framework for data processing to using ML algorithm to production. There are a lot of framework. That's all available. It changes rapidly. So go to Google and check it. The latest ML production tools to learn. They will give a complete picture. And I showed this picture in the 12th week. Actually, if you want to quickly understand, go to the 12th week video and check it out. It's all available on YouTube, right? So go and check it out, and do the same search now. It might have changed in 1 year, so use that. To do a novice, to enter, my only suggestion is learn basics. Learn Python, one scripting language, Python or data science. Understand some of the few algorithms. Understand well. Then look for companies who are starting, looking for junior posts, where you can get a chance to learn. You can also contribute. You can also learn. Maybe internship portions. Learn then you can see what industry demand and everything. For my friend actually, who is in one of the top insurance company in the world, he is not in India. He says that 90% of this algorithms they churn and everything is based on simple logistic regression. It's not even high-end ML. So we study about high-end ML for image classification, neural networks, all these things, but in the reality, the big industry is still working on a logic regression. So if you are started with the basics, learn 2 or 3 algorithms very well and understand, then you can still go for interviews and you can learn better. So I really can't give the right answer here, but that's my opinion and my suggestion. So go to Google, check for the latest ML production tools. They'll give a complete picture of tools from data processing to pick one in each group, study well. That will help you to join this career. How to get into ML research, like doing PhD or becoming a research scholar? So the one way is doing PhD is that look for the good institutes who are offering PhD in a computer science. Look for that. That's the one way. And becoming a research scholar, becoming a ML researcher, most of these companies, the good companies in ML, the big companies like IBM or Samsung or Google, they will look for the PhD in CS students who have worked on some ML problem for 2 to 3 years. They are not applied ML. They are the core ML. They are trying to improve some automation algorithm, improve its performance, like all the time, reduce the time. They look for those people to work on the problem. That's what they do. Basically, that's what the companies come and look for you. And those companies look for MTechs also, MTech in computer science who have worked in ML problems. But it's just the big companies. There are a lot of other companies also, small startups, and a lot of new companies are started doing, research in ML. Look for those companies in LinkedIn and try to approach them.
That is I think he's more into PhD and all. So
okay, PhD in ML, I see my knowledge is very limited to CS department in IIT Bombay.
Maths, yeah, people with maths background and stats background. So IISc and all, they have started. So they have labs, and in those particular labs, they have PhD positions. So if you talk about ML, it's not just so going into ML research is you can actually go into a lot of areas. For example, optimization is one such area. Statistics is another such area, and then the third area is like computer science and all. Even in computer science, you have focus groups on natural language processing, image processing, and all that. So I think there are multiple institutions in the country, right from IITs, IISc, ISI, CMI. All these have, even TIFR also have MLAI. So all these are good big institutions and have very good research group. So you need to first, go to their website and see what they demand as your master's. So you need to have a master's or bachelor's degree. And then depending upon what they are looking for, you have to prepare for interviews and sometimes gate score and all that thing. And there are some dual degree programs where you can have MTech PhD combined. So that is how you can get into those.
So look at the beyond IITs. So there are several IITs who are good at computer science.
Even triple IT has
triple IITs are there. ISC, NITs. The one institute, CMI, it's one of the big institute who works on core algorithm in ML. Like there are a lot of groups, and the people from CMI have been to the
CMI, ISI also, Indian Statistical Institute also is a big name when it comes to...
Yeah, the CMI, Chennai Mathematics Institute, right? So what I would say that I know people who are there who come here as a exchange scholar. A lot of students from IIT Bombay CS goes there, and people from CMI goes to big labs. Mm-hmm. So look for those, come up with a list of institutes and look at, as Devesh mentioned, look at what is the requirement. Most of them have a master's requirement, masters in computer science or masters in
statistics also, maths also.
Maths, yeah, and even MCA. They have allied departments, Once you have that, if you have master's, they don't look much of the competition score, but if you have master's degree and you have done a very good project and you are enough enough interest to spend another 3-4 years for researching some problem, instead of getting PhD, if you are interested in researching some problem and you are high into, then they will be probably you might get it. That's what the one way to join the PhD, the program. After PhD program, that's up to your interest and everything to change. Traditional method. Suppose traditional method is I'm showing the image or video to the student. I'm teaching in a particular format. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching in solving a problem using some few steps. And I give that after teaching that particular content, I'm assessing using some few questions to the students. checking whether they understood or not. If I come to know they are not understanding, the first step I will do is give some constructive feedback, saying that, hey, your answer is wrong. Maybe this you have to do, connect this something. And I give a similar question whether to test whether the student understood the concept or not. Still is not understanding. I'll give the remedial content. The remedial content is not necessarily the same content. The remedial content is trying to understand that, hey, I taught them in one method. Still the student, they are not able to understand. So I need to explain in more detail. If I know why he made a mistake, because if that particular concept needs multiple sub-concepts, if I know the students knows two concepts or not only one concept missing, I'll be spending more time on teaching that the additional topic for the student to connect to the C1 and C2, two concepts. So for me, remedial content is, if I know there's a student who are not able to understand what I taught, I need to give more information. That is what I call as remedial teaching. So I think, that's what my understanding. If you have any other understanding of remedial content, please let me know. I'll just look at it.
Just one more thing, as a researchers in the field of learning analytics or educational data analytics, one thing is we don't, come up with methods that are more enjoyable, but the focus of learning analytics or educational data analytics is to find out what is working and what is not working. So once that is done, then you can have, multiple pedagogies, you can select one by one and then see, with the help of data, you can support that this thing is working out and this is not working out. So that is one thing.
Yeah, but I understand what the question is. It's more enjoyable. If the person enjoys more, which means learning automatically happens.
Yeah.
You will be in
spending more time.
Yeah, spending more time. It's in the flow, right? So
Yeah.
you have no idea what the time. So that is good. But yeah, so more enjoy. How do you measure? Is basically you can measure the affective states, whether they are delighted mostly, or no, you can see whether some self questionnaire to measure whether they are enjoying it or not, something like that.
So what sir wants to say is we cannot directly measure what is enjoyable, what is not. So
Yeah.
you have to simply break down it into certain other constructs that you think are related to enjoyment.
Yeah. Which is the last day to get enrolled for this course? I think the last date is done.
6th August first.
So it's over. I think we can't do anything because it's the NPTEL level decision and it has taken. And if it is taken, we cannot change it. So it's same for assignments. It's same for the course exams because we are not deciding about who can join, what is assignment dates. It's about the NPTEL because they are running 500 plus courses every semester. So they are the one making decisions. They can't take decisions for each and every one. So yeah.
But you can still watch these videos.
Yeah, these videos are. So what is this? Can you please give some insights on LEA research methodology? So I'm not sure. I think going forward in the few weeks, we will understand what are the algorithms we use in LEA. Basically, LEA we do. Most people nowadays do the descriptive analytics. They collect the data and describe what is the data. They talk about that paper, describe and compare group A, group B, something like that. Recently, more people are talking about learner modeling. Modeling in the sense is about predictive analytics. That's what they started, So that is where the research happens. So if you are interested in LA research, I would suggest, I would have mentioned it in the video first week. Go to the LAK conference and EDM conference. Both are the key conferences. Go and check those papers in last 2 years. That will help you to understand what is the research happening in LA. And then if you have any specific question, we can take it. You can ask the questions in the forum. TS will answer. But research is like that only. Basically, prediction analytics, and you need to define what are the. It's a generic research methodology. There's nothing called LA's research methodology. Come up with the hypothesis, collect data, apply it on any algorithm you want to use it. Is it possible develop recommendation system using MIS data? Institute is improving teaching learning process. MIS is if I remember correctly, MIS is the LMS kind of data. I'm not sure MIS is what. We can develop the recommendation system using If you can, Jaikumar, if you can just explain me what is MIS, that will be easy for me. I'll connect it back to the question. So this course basically for computer science or engineering students or management students can also pursue. Okay, I make sure this course is not for any specific branch or department, management or computer science or anyone. Anyone who are interested to learn what are the basics of ML, who are interested to improve the student learning teaching learning processes can take this course. It can be basic science, management, commerce, doesn't matter. The point here is if you are interested in understanding the student learning and want to improve their teaching learning process, please take this course. There's no requirement for this course. All we need is understand the basics probability for one of algorithms. And I don't think nothing much is needed beyond understanding the probability at the class 10th or class 12 level. Nothing beyond that. So anyone can take this course who are interested to improve the teaching learning processes. That is the core, okay? If you are interested to take this course for the ML learning and to get a job in ML, that's what I mentioned. It may not be the good course. There are other courses in NPTEL and other courses in Coursera. Professor Andrew and Jay, I would have mentioning these names often in my videos also. Go and check those courses, all available in YouTube, and watch those videos to learn more about ML. But if you're interested to improve the students' learning processes, if your goal is to improve the students' learning, please use this course. So MIS is Management Information System. Yeah, that's what I was not able to get. I'm not still understanding what is management.
Student information system.
Okay, so it is something like so there's a database where all the student profile data is available. Also, it's like a learning management system, like a Moodle or Blackboard, where the students interaction with each course, are submitting assignments and everything. Then
I think SIS does not have LMS. So usually people use this SIS data plus LMS data also.
Achha,
so
okay.
It's like more of demographic details.
Student profile data.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come back to this. I'll just go back to this question. Okay, so if you are looking at the profile data information, so we were doing one analysis recently. So there's a company which have a different domains. For example, the company say it's in the healthcare industry, and there are a lot of different people involved in the healthcare industry. HR, finance, accounting, physicians, and different, the radiologists, all these people are there, or insurance company with different domains. And there's some course we are teaching, from basics course on how to do the a basic analysis of some data, or some diagnostic analytics about the patients. If you want to teach this course to almost all the employees, because this is some mandate required from the government. And the same course cannot be applicable to different kind of people, okay? So what we can do is, we will actually run a small test. We are just doing in this analysis recently. We're going to do that in another couple of months. So what we're trying to do is that we run a test for all the employees, the same data set, and we try to understand which learner is able to learn with a very minimal data, which learner needs multiple attempts and multiple remedial content to learn. Then we try to do the clustering, okay? Now, first step is take your teaching material and give it to all the students in SIS, get the data, say which students were able to do it well in the first attempt, which students need the second attempt, which students need a remedial content, all this information, you collect this information. After that, you do the clustering mechanism. The next time when you offer, right, based on this SIS, you can make a different cluster. Say the cluster 1 needs more detailed instructions because they were not able to understand their demographic or their parental income or the age or the background knowledge needs more of their understanding. So we provide that information. Other clusters might need direct content, Other clusters need more advanced content. So that is what we can do from the SIS. We are doing this analysis for one of our projects. But this is based on profile. But profile has some limitations, There's if all the students are joining in a university, and if you want to classify, I think this profile data may not clearly classify into one group to other. There are other factors involved in where they come from, which location, and the parental income, how many siblings they have, all other informations we have to collect. So this is a bit of challenging information, but most of the school data we have now is only this information. We are collecting with one of the NGOs we worked at, and we looked at the data, and we got only this profile data only, and we were able to predict decently, not in high success rate. Yeah, we just wrote that the 2-page paper, but they're not able to do much success in the profile data. Okay, coming back to this. Okay.
He wants us to write the name of that educational data set in the chat box. Or
Okay.
maybe we can put
You
it
can
in the
put in the
discussion.
chat box if you can, right?
We will put it in NPTEL discussion forum.
You
right?
can do it. AIED 2020. You can write again.
I think all other students will be reading this. Huh? So we'll put it in the discussion.
Okay. So we'll put these two sites, AIED 2020 website where this database, we'll do that. The second one is we will do the Kaggle. I forgot the name. Last year we did one experiment in Kaggle. So Kaggle also have this. Kaggle is common. Anybody can go and search it in Kaggle. So 1 second. I think this battery is gone. You need to tell us. Okay. Will there be separate interactive session even with students? So I think this is the interactive session we'll do. There's no separate session for faculty or students. Everybody will be this interactive session. For us, everybody who are involved in this is a student. Yeah, so there's no separate session. And sir, but what I saw in the videos, of course, it looks like more of a computer science, asking because I'm a BBA student. It's a bit tough for me to learn about machine learning. Oh, okay. Sorry, I never thought this will be tough for students from non-computer science.
I think so. One area is when you talk about coming from BBA and thinking about ML and all. So they have this business analytics thing.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, you have put different adjective in front of analytics. So what we do is learning analytics is basically using analytics for educational purposes. In business analytics, it's applying analytics for business purpose. So I think
intelligence.
Yeah. So, but I think basic mathematics is required for learning machine learning. But I think you go and take some basic courses in mathematics. So, if I tell you what you need in mathematics, it's calculus, it's linear algebra, I think, and statistics. And there are very good courses, plenty of content when it comes to mathematics. So you have some certain courses in MIT OCW, open courseware, by Professor Gilbert Strang. So he has written books also, and he has all the video lectures on that are even available on YouTube, and that MIT's course. And then you check any platform, you check NPTEL course, you check about Coursera. They also sort of offer basic courses in linear algebra, calculus, and all. And I think if you slowly start with this, things will start falling in place.
But for this learning analytics course, we don't need to do any of this.
Yeah.
In our course, I think if you are not understanding the second week what data to collect, that is perfectly fine. The third week we will be talking about the introduction to ML, where we are trying to give the example of supervised, unsupervised, regression, and classification. If you don't understand, I was telling in the course, go to YouTube and search for Andrew NG. I gave the reference also in the website, in the course video. Go and watch it again. Go to that course. So Andrew NG's course, watch that. I think if you watch it, you will understand the basics. Then come back to this course for the fourth week. Fourth week is more about data visualization, what data to use, which plot to use. It's not much of ML there, but it's all about descriptive analysis. This is too important to show which plot to use to show which data. We can't plot any plot, and we cannot go and show the data to people. So that's the fourth week. I think fifth week you will again understand the basics of ML. We'll start very slowly. If you don't get it, what is regression or classification from week 3, it's okay. Week 5 we will revisit them with more details. I think metrics, if you don't understand, please watch it multiple times, or go and read the internet resources if that is not enough. So if you get motivated from these videos, and if you can go and read more, that is the aim of this course. Because with the 12 weeks, we can't cover everything, from data collection all the metrics to basic introduction to ML, then visualization, then multimedia. So we won't do everything. So we will motivate you guys to work on this and use these keywords to search in internet to learn easily. My hope is that after learning this course, when you read about ML, you should be able to understand well compared to before. Or when you read a learning analytics paper, ML research paper in learning analytics, you should be able to understand better. That's my only goal. If you have achieved it, I'm happy with that. I think that is the motivation of this course. So if you're not understanding, maybe watch it one more time or search for resources in the internet, and you will get a more good resources. Apart from NPTEL certification, what other certificates you suggest for all data science research applicants? I have no idea actually. Is there certificates? See, that's
more than certifications. I think it's the projects you do and the internship that will help you. Simple certification, I don't think would help you much.
Yeah. See the point is certificates don't help much in my opinion, but I was in a software company for a couple of days. I know there are only certificates they look for. It's IBM certificates, Sun certificates, all the things. In my opinion, they are.
In that way, Google, IBM also offer on Coursera.
But for me, after I've worked for a few years, my understanding is that after 15 years of working in this companies, they are just for making money. That's my opinion. So if you are really good at it, I would say get a profile in a GitHub. If you're creating something new, want to give people, just put it there. Or create a website, give it to people, and look at the Kaggle problem, understand, solve it. Your profile goes up. When you go to a good company interviews, you give them not your resume. Give them your user ID in a Kaggle, in a GitHub, or Stack Overflow. These three, they look at it, they'll take you, because that's where you are showing your proficiency. So I would say that's more than enough compared to the certificates. But I really don't know which certificates help it. So that you need to check internet or talk to some people who are in the field, in the corporate. See, I'm an academic. My only idea is that how to use ML to create something in research level. What we do as a research today will take 10 years to come into the commercial systems. For example, now only we are talking about PAL, like a big lot of companies, personalized adaptive learning coming up. They are doing adaptation based on performance. If the answer is wrong, I'll use this content. Still, this is 1993 ka paper in the research field. This is what happened in 1993 for IRT, PEL IRT. People are talking about it in 2020, almost 15, 16 years after. So what we do now will take another 10 years to commercial. So I have no idea what is the commercial system is looking at, what is the system. That's the limitation which we have, because we are mostly focused on academics all the time. Thanks. And what should we do when we model? Actually, okay, move to the other model or try tuning the parameters. So yeah, if you want to tune the parameters, you need to know. So the tuning parameters basically hyperparameters. If you are using say algorithm X and your hyperparameters ABC, you can set a maximum range, some range from -1 to say +1. Some range you can weigh in different values and tune it. So that's one way to do it. And by looking at the data, you will understand some data have a linear relationship between this, or some quadratic relationship between this given data versus the label. You can apply some logistic regression or nonlinear classifiers. If these are not working, if the data set is kind of a complex, by plotting the data, it is different complex. You can go for the complex algorithms like a support vector machines, or you can go better algorithms. If the data set, the historical data is too much, which gives, which follows a certain pattern. For example, always this A happened after the B happened, or A and B is highly correlated with the dependent variable. Go for the probability-based classifiers. There, if the historical data is very strong relations and the pattern is followed, HMM-based classifiers, all these things are good. If the data is completely non-linear, I would suggest go for SVM. So it depends on the data you look at it. Also the amount of data you have, like the number of features versus number of data you have. If you have too much data, more than 10,000 increase, I would suggest go for the neural networks. And by tuning a lot of parameters, neural networks can give best performance compared to any algorithm. But the important is having more number of data. In neural network, you can do a lot of additionals like the time component, the context component, everything you can add in the network to improve the performance. So yeah, I would suggest go for neural network if you have a lot of data. Can we generative adversarial networks after learning? I have no idea about that GAN and also this is completely out of my domain, so sorry for that. I think maybe it's advanced neural networks. Kindly start with basics who has not much familiar about mathematical calculation. Okay, so we will start basics. The point is in 12 weeks course we try to cover the learning analytics as a focus, but yeah, maybe we can provide more of the resources to the basics in the announcements. But for the calculus or the linear algebra, it's not required for this learning analytics course at all. This learning analytics course is the basics intro to ML. I think if you need more detail, I would suggest go to some of the videos or watch it a couple of times or read some resources. That is enough. What type of project should we show during interview? Okay. So I have no idea that it's whether you want to I don't know the example. Suppose there's a startup company which is selling all the old products, old items, maybe old buses or old trains. This can be. I'm just giving any names. So they are looking for the full stack developer. They will be looking for full stack developer. If you're looking for only ML engineer, and now they will be asking you to see whether you know the basic ML, and they'll be part of a big team where you're working a small ML problem. Most of the companies who are new, a lot of companies in India are new to ML. They want looking for people who know ML productions, not just applying algorithms, because almost everybody who starts ML starts with linear regression, logistic regression, some SVM, and they learn some 4 or 5 tools, and they are already ML engineers. But that is not companies looking at. Companies looking at someone who can read data from the database. The database can be CSV, SQL, that extract features, do the data preprocessing, fill the missing values, remove the outliers, then apply algorithms, then go to move that data back to the production link. So they're looking for these kind of people mostly. But this is what people are looking for. But it's a big process. But you will learn if you be part of the company instead of you learn and join a company. My suggestion is learn part of it. Start an internship. Don't worry about the sort of internship. Learn more, then you go to the next steps. If you try to learn everything without any data or project, that'll be tough. Exploitative data analysis. Okay, we were discussing that some time back about exploitative data analysis, so explainable AI actually. So I think there's no good data set as we know immediately, or resources for exploitative data analysis. I'm just thinking. I think there's nothing much we know of, in the top of our mind to say it now. Do you know anything exploitative data analysis data? Not really, actually. I cannot think of anything quickly. But so we were talking about this recently, that XAI, where there's a data set, we try to create a model, then we try to explore what are the possible reasons why this particular machine learning algorithm gave this particular answer. Similarly, you have a lot of data and explore that. I don't have any resources now. Not here. Okay, I think all the questions are kind of answered. Thanks everyone for joining today. And yeah, so if you have any questions, please post it in the Google discussion forum. And yeah, we will conduct the similar live interaction and after 4 weeks. If you have questions there, please post it in the live interaction section. Thank you everyone for joining today.